back to the Goldie Gold Tanks. I'm Joshua Clutchfrey, joined on the set by Rana Rukel Holcomb, and we are about ready for match number 5 of SIMP versus GooglyBobbers. A quick recap of what happened after that series. Hammer Time wins, meaning they will have 15 league points, which means they hold on to 3rd place. Hammer Time, top tier Fulcrum Gaming, going to the finals no matter what. Simple Tankers and Spurglords are both tied with 9 league points. That means they will face each other in a tiebreaker tomorrow. After that tiebreaker, that will determine who is in 4th and 5th place and who will be facing who in the playoffs. This series right now, SIMP versus GooglyBobbers. Where do these two teams stand?
All right, well, SIMP stands at 18 points in the league. They're undefeated. No one expects them to finish it any other way. If they keep it up, they'll be undefeated for all 3 seasons of regular play. The only time they'll have seen defeats is in our grand finals against Fulcrum. Now, GooglyBobbers are at 9 league points, and as it stands for them, they are currently tied with River of Blood. Now, if they win against SIMP, that will put them at 12 points, just below Cunningham's, which would secure them as the 4th place team in Bracket B. If they lose, they stay tied with River of Blood, and then they have to do a little bit of a tiebreaker before they go to their playoff.
So that means that we will only have 1 tiebreaker apiece for each division.
Convenient.
Well, all right. All right, but that tiebreaker, even if GooglyBobbers wins, they'll still stay in 4th. So that these tiebreakers will determine who's actually in 4th and 5th place.
Exactly.
And then we go to the playoffs after that.
Very easy.
So we have 4 matches total tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ain't that nice?
Cool. All right, guys, because we want to know who's going to go to the finals. And we want to know what SIMP and GooglyBobbers have to say for themselves before this matchup. It's time for the face-off. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
And
Can you
Mac
hear
is
us?
here. Yes,
We can
I
hear
can.
you. We can hear you. We just had the dramatic opening. Now we can see your shining faces, and Rukel's going to ask you some questions.
Exactly. Mac, you guys are undefeated. Can you keep it up? Make it 3 seasons of undefeated league play.
I don't see why not. We're hoping to make it 3 undefeated seasons, so we'll see what happens.
Are you petting something off screen?
No, I'm grabbing my water bottle.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I also like
gotta
to stay hydrated
keep the
with
throat hydrated.
endo tears.
They're very refreshing.
Are they
To
salty?
keep our own stockpile.
All right, Spoon. You guys tied with River of Blood right now. Can you break it? Are you going to beat SIMP tonight?
I hopefully will beat SIMP. But of course they're definitely the best team in our bracket, possibly the best team in the league, and so I'm not too sure, but hopefully.
All right. Well, I think you guys might want to get straight to it. Any words for each other before we get to the coin flip?
Good luck. We never fought you before, so we don't really know what to expect, but it should be fun.
Yeah, same to you.
All right, gentlemen. SIMP, you have the higher seed. Heads or tails on the coin flip?
I'll go with heads.
Heads is a call. The flip is heads. Map choice or defer?
We'll defer.
Defer. GooglyBobbers, what will be your map choice?
Let's try mines.
Mines for the GooglyBobbers, and SIMP, what spawn
We'll
location?
take the north.
North side for mines for SIMP, south GooglyBobbers. It's been a pleasure to have you guys in the season, and we wish you the best of luck in this matchup and in the future.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Clutch.
All right, and Spoon, I think, is still the top performing individual in our league.
I can go check.
63. Let's check real quick as we get mines underway.
Yep, he's still there. Still got the greatest battle performance by quite a bit. We give it some little number. I don't quite know what the 36,354 means, but he's at the top. Targets destroyed. Miller. Damage caused. A Droxus from SIMP. Look at that. But Spoon still leads the way with targets spotted. And base captures, backstabs. Angry White Guy on defense points. But a Droxus, of course. Look out for him on SIMP. He is one of the top performers. Always in that IS3 on city maps.
And you guys can check the stats yourself by going to WGLNA.com. You'll be redirected to the new site, which is pretty and pristine and awesome. And, you know, big thank you to Wargaming. They've been behind that, trying to make that work for a while. And including all the stats and all the players, like a wiki, really, for all the esports stories that happens. And to see the stories develop is really an amazing sight to behold. Not just how the teams can perform, but as we saw, how the individuals can perform. Now it's time for you to perform with the betting. Betting is open. All you have to do is follow the syntax in the chat channel. If you have any questions, ask the moderators. That's what they're there for. The top performer in the betting points at the end of Season 3 will take home a Type 59 Chinese tank. This is a tank that is famous and is not available in stores anymore. One of the exclusive ways you can get it. Also, our finals are happening February 8th and 9th at the Folsom Street Foundry. And if you make it to the finals, we're going to give out some Type 59 tanks as well. So there's another chance that you can make it out. It's a lot of fun, guys. We have a lot of fun at these finals. Everyone enjoys meeting the players, seeing some great tanks action, and Wargaming knows how to put on a good party. But speaking of party time, man, mine's my favorite map. What are your predictions?
Party time on the hill, Clutch. Right here. Everyone's going to group up. They're going to go for a rave. There's going to be lots of explosions, plenty of lighting, maybe some spinning. I don't know. But it's going to be great, Clutch.
Maybe some spinning, a disco ball in the center.
A little disco tank.
I'll do some robot moves up there.
Precisely. And that's what we're going to see on Mines. Okay. At least I hope so.
We're looking forward to that. Mines, again, I still would like to see more waterside play. I'd like to see a team counter out a little bit stronger. And I can think of some hypothetical ways, but I actually need to practice it with some teams on how to counter out that Mines position. Game over is hanging back in their 5100s, all right? So that's one big defensive play. But how do you turn that into an offensive play?
Well, the thing is, when you hang back in the south, it's hard to mobilize because if your opponent has hill control.
Oh, you got openings.
There are openings, but the thing is, it's very risky because if you're discovered making a flanking attempt, your opponent's just going to push, find the cut-off group, and annihilate it while you have a 5100 maybe out on a flank, 1390s far away, something like that. So you have to be really cognizant of what's going on. You have to keep track of your opponent. You have to keep them pinned, and you have to make sure that they're reacting constantly to you and not being able to set up for their own attack. It's hard to do, and I can say it all day, but you have to see it actually happen. It's very difficult. SIMP can do that. They show the ability to shut down their opponent's moves, shut down an attack, deflect the aggression, or absorb it, and just shut it down easily. GooglyBobbers, they show a lot of deep strategic understanding, but I don't know if they're able to do it as quickly, at least in the reactive sets. Just reacting to those pushes and perfectly deflecting them, maybe not. But they do perform rather well in a brawl. If they can force that, maybe they can come out on top.
I also see the potential of the east side for a long swing around. And real quickly on my monitor, I'll show you guys. So we see these T1s. They're either in this little village or they're in this little village.
I'll help you out, Clutch.
Yeah, great. Let's do it on the telestrator. Right? We got that piece of machinery.
Exactly.
So the placement of the T1s will be on the northern side of the town, and then down that...
right there?
Yeah, and then down towards the little village area on the other side for the team to the south. When that T1 battle happens, you have that whole eastern long way around that is open. That, yes, initially there could be some spotting from the hill, but further back behind... further back behind the town, if they go for a long sweeping motion up towards the village, they could get some behind the hill shots or placement. I'd like to see a team try to strategize and use that. However, it's very difficult because the window is small because the T1 has to die and there has to be some sort of engagement or distraction on the hill.
Yeah, it's just, we'll have to see how they do it.
We'll have to see. All right, it's time for battle number 1 of match number 5, SIMP versus the GooglyBobbers. Let's battle.
All right, for tanks, I'm seeing 2 Pershings, T69, 2 1390s. Everyone's got normal T1s. And then on the side of GooglyBobbers, we've got 3 T69s and 2 1390s. So maybe some hill play. I'm seeing that right off the bat. Heavy 20's booking it as fast as he can. With him will be Blue Boys captain 1390s, MacG taking down. Oh, does he have a consistent fire? He's got 37s. They got 37s. They're taking that hill. 37s mean they're going to have better penetration, guys, and so they'll be able to more consistently pen and damage 1390s, even the T69s if they can get behind them.
Here comes Spoon and Bananas to the wall host. Heavy 20 and Blue Boys captain pushing up against Spoon. Bananas gets behind Spoon and not get pushed too far.
Look at that blocking. Spoon is going to be caught out in the open. He's going to be focused down immediately by those mediums.
And so is Bananas to the wall host. Blue Boys captain tries to fire another shot, but he's down 154 and he falls. Heavy 20 returning fire on the other side. Endo on the chase, but the tears rain down from the hill from Endo's tank. Heavy 20 pushing up against Spoon. But Spoon standing his ground as he had his shots. Nope, behind the rocks. They're going to dance back and forth here. And it's just fired on both sides. Spoon takes a track shot.
Just below the hill, Crimson Corsair is going deep, looking for Kyle. He takes him down, but the T-69s are reloaded, and they begin unloading on Crimson Corsair.
Heavy 20 takes a big hit from Spoon, but here comes Singh in the T-69. One shot. Another shot from Singh into the 1390, and one more will bring him down. And he missed. Singh missed the shot. Spoon on the run, but last shot from Singh gets the kill. Singh and Adroxus. Last one's left alive for Simp as the GooglyBobbers have enough HP, at least in Zombie Food's T-69. I say that, and he takes a shot from Adroxus to clean this up.
It's possible. These T-69s have a lot of burst. Sabra Zul should be reloaded. Yes, he is. Makes a connection. Zombie Food might be reloaded. He looks towards Singh, tries to scare him away, but no, he's going for Adroxus. And they're going to be focusing him down. One shot.
Adroxus is able to get that shot and the kill. Singh fires against Zombie Food. It's Bananas to the wall host versus Singh. Here comes Bananas in the 1390.
Is Singh reloading? I think he is.
Oh,
that
no.
would be Bananas to the
Singh
wall
needs
host.
to fall back. And this is victory number 1 for GooglyBobbers on mines.
Well played. Simp, though, brought the 37s on the T1s. I would have thought they'd done better. How well did those T1s do?
Let's find out. Let's find out.
Oh, they didn't get to do any damage. They were taken down too quickly. That's a smart move by the GooglyBobbers. Although Tuxzilla and Armaghost, even though they mounted 20mm cannons, were actually able to do damage. Take a look at those, Clutch. On the other side of the bracket. They made some hits. They made damage. Good job.
They did. That they did. Well, it was quite a firefight going back and forth. A couple misses from the T-69s there, which was unfortunate. And GooglyBobbers.
Everyone misses a few shots in those.
It happens. It happens. But GooglyBobbers now is up against Simp.
I think it was that initial burst right onto Blue Boys. They blocked him. 2 1390s going to block him. Great job. I think they got a great spawn as well. Spawn is huge. Very important for these 1390s. If they get a spawn that is far to the east on the south side, it really hurts their run up to the hill. They got good spawns, so they got up there just before Blue Boys, and it was, who was the other one? It was Endo, or was, no, it wasn't. It was Heavy 20. Heavy 20 is able to avoid getting blocked. He actually does stop, but he gets away for a little while. Blue Boys, they're just completely shut down, and he gets taken down by a 1390, I think. The other mediums below the hill, of course, have wasted shots on Blue Boys, and they do take a lot of damage. Good move by Simp. I like that. Their medium response was appropriate, but unfortunately, it falls apart. One of the Pershings goes too deep, and that was, I think, Crimson Corsair. He just goes right in there. He just dives on a T-69, and he gets Kyle down. That's the one, SPC, Kyle, flackety name. I don't know. Look at his name. How do you pronounce
Kyle.
it? I call him Kyle.
All right. So there's which SPC. I just call him SPC.
I call him Kyle. Kyle isn't his name.
All right.
Yeah.
The SPC.
Like, hover over his name and you see, where is he?
Right here.
Oh, he's down below
SPC Kyle M.
SPC FRC.
Friggity Kyle M. I see what you mean, but
It's
when I called them out, the team roster, I just call him the SPC.
I call him Kyle.
All right.
I think I've heard people just be like, call him Kyle. Just call him
We'll call him Kyle from now on. It's fine with me. Maybe he'll change it to SPC though.
just to mess with us.
I am the SPC. That sounds so much cooler than Kyle. 60 seconds before we're ready for the battle. Cliff will be the next map. Okay, so we're seeing more teams tonight favor that western push compared to what we saw last night, where teams are staying away from the west. A lot of the central play is not as crazy of a firefight compared to the hill on mines. Still, no team has been able to execute the same way the hashtag RU is able to execute on the eastern play.
Oh, man, that play was great.
But I am on the side of GooglyBobbers, which means we'll be spawning to the north. And when I would see Simp spawn on the north side of this map, MacG would usually be in a prime location to guard against any type of east play from the south.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. They could spot it, but if Mac gets killed, it's still open. They could leave, come back later, and make that east play work again. Yep. That's all you have to do to make east play work. You kill something, appear to leave, look like you're leaving, before you go dark. Because, I mean, you're spotted approximately 10 seconds, give or take, from when you are last spotted. Like Mac spots, he dies. assuming after, of course, the few seconds you keep spotting, because these guys are all the crew skills, and there's a crew skill that lets your radio man keep spotting and reporting stuff after he dies for whatever. It's 10
time.
seconds.
It's 10 seconds. You can still spot what's on the map. Yeah. Thanks to the radio guy. That's why radio guys are important, like I was talking about earlier. Cliff, here we go. Battle number 2. Simp versus the GooglyBobbers.
All right. T69, Pershing, 3 1390s. That's Simp. GooglyBobbers, 2 T69s, 3 1390s. Let's see where they go.
Explain to my parents that I'm commentating for a team with players such as the Bananas to the Wall host and Spoon. And they get excited. They say, please tell me more. Well, it's kind of like Ocho Cinco.
I remember Ocho Cinco.
By the way, go Seahawks for more else. Bananas to the Wall host and Baronish from the north heading down. This is a split push here. West going to be covered completely by GooglyBobbers. All central coming out of Simp. Simp going, all right, guys, we lost that one. We were having some fun. Now let's lock it down a bit. GooglyBobbers saying, hey, guys, we just won that one. Let's lock it down. Let's win the next one.
Blue
Boys Captain Heavy 20 spotted at the same time.
Now Blue Boys is actually out alone versus 2 1390s. He may discover that soon, but he also might not, and that could be bad for Blue. Because, well, he'd die very quickly. 2 Bananas as he peeks out. Oh, he catches fire.
Big shots. Baronish able to land this again. Can he get a kill? It's Bananas to the Wall who's able to get it. Nice volley fire coming from the 2, and that's going to be a tiered advantage already coming out of GooglyBobbers on Cliff. And they're going to swing around and wait for the response of Simp in the central area. Big play.
Wow. That's huge. And now Sing's taking so much damage. 467. And now it's 5
HP, and he tries to land the last shot. No, they're going to switch over to the Droxus, the Pershing that's pushing up towards them. And they're going to use the rest of that fire. They couldn't get the shot, so they switched tanks, even though he only has 5 HP. They wanted to get the kill. This is a smart play because this is going to allow Spoon and Zombie Food hopefully to stay alive longer. Droxus with lower HP. Endo gets the kill against Sovereign, but Spoon takes down a Droxus. Now they're going to push up against Sing, maintaining the advantage.
Although Sing gets a little ram onto Spoon. 4 hit points left.
Baronish rams against the damage. Nice play by the 1390.
Nice. Wow. This leaves Endo and Heavy 20 alive in 1390s. Endo is in full flight. Heavy 20 as well. And they're being chased down by Baronish and Bananas to the Wall host. This really evened up where it was an advantage, huge advantage for a moment. But now, Endo's done 381. Baronish will be reloaded shortly. And I'm thinking I'm seeing... yeah. Oh, nice shot by Baronish. Endo down to 100. Heavy 20's blocking for him as best he can. But now Heavy 20 takes fire from Baronish. Baronish track shot onto Heavy 20, and he goes down.
Baronish with a cleanup kill. T1 still from behind, able to shoot him up for Mac G. Bananas to the Wall host, get to head towards him and take out that annoyance. Big shot from Endo against Baronish. Baronish still had a shot and is able to get it. Crimson Corsair, the last tank left alive, compared to 2, the GooglyBobbers 1390s. Could this be one of the greatest upsets in Season 3, even though both these teams are pretty much in the same position after the wins here?
Yeah. I'm really surprised Simp is getting beat up right now by the GooglyBobbers. GooglyBobbers have been surprising all season. We didn't know what quite to expect, but this is quite an impressive feat. They're going to be 2-0 versus Simp right now as they find Crimson Corsair. Really want to hear the comms of Simp after this. We're recording the comms. Maybe we'll get a sense of the game. I want to know what's going on. GooglyBobbers look like they're on fire.
Big shot. GooglyBobbers up 2-0 on Cliff. They went for the isolation approach again. That approach on the west. They saw Blue Boys captain unloaded with the volley fire. Then went to the north. When that engagement happened in the central side, I mean, Simp technically was making the right move because they saw, wait, they have 2 tanks over there. Let's push in against them. They couldn't get the kills. And then those 1390s moved to the north side of the donut hole, unloaded, and then pushed in against them.
It was just really well played by the GooglyBobbers. Simp didn't play anything so wrong as much as GooglyBobbers just made just a perfect move. Really love seeing that. And you're going to notice Blue Boys does actually 525 damage that battle, which is even more than Heavy 20 gets to do. Heavy doesn't get to get a lot of shots on target. He fires 5 times, but doesn't get all the connections he needs. Blue Boys, though, gets out 2 for 2 and is able to be effective before taken down next to the rest of his team. Of course, Crim and Mac did work in their T1s as best they could, but look at this. Baronish, a monster, making 11 for 11. He made every shot count, and these were on-the-move shots, by the way, that he made a lot of that time. Just disgusting play by Baranish. Baranish, the wall host, is up there with him as well, and he does 2,013 damage. He's 10 for 10. Just disgusting 1390 play by the GooglyBobbers. And this isn't even Spoon doing all of this damage. Spoon is actually one of the lower performers for this battle on the side of the GooglyBobbers.
Incredible, guys. Incredible. Tell your friends right now we could see a Titan fall in season number 3 group play. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We come back. Battle number 3 between the GooglyBobbers and SIMP. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gold League for World of Tanks. I'm Clutch, joined by Rukiel. GooglyBobbers, a team that is currently in 5th place, I believe, for the Bravo Division, is 2-0 against SIMP, the team that has been undefeated in Season 1 and Season 2 in group play, the team that has taken 2nd place in both of our finals, the team that has taken home $50,000 total in prize money, is down 0-2 against a team that joined us via qualifier number 1 for the first time in this season. Spoon, the one that you saw in the face-off, is the best player stats-wise for season number 3 so far. This could be a huge upset. Battle number 3 on Himmelsdorf between SIMP and GooglyBobbers. Let's battle, guys. Let's see what's going to happen.
Wow. I didn't think we were going to see this, man.
What do we have for tanks?
Well, for tanks, no surprises, but 3 5100s, 2 IS-3s, Atrox Heavy 20, of course, always in those IS-3s. On the other side, Baranish, Spoon, AMX 5200s, Sovereign Zool, Bananas, Zombie Food in IS-3s. Everyone's bringing the 20 mils again on those T1 Cunninghams. No surprises here from Mac G or Crimson Corsair. But little east side play from SIMP. They're heading east. GooglyBobbers making that G line work.
Tuck still in the T1, following behind Bananas to the wall host. Bananas will head up to the window in the IS-3 for any pot shot fire across the courtyard. Tuckzilla going for the corner down the golf line. Won't see anything yet because this is a complete hillside play coming from SIMP. Their other T1, Armor Ghost, will be heading up to the hill, and he'll spot a serious tank train of pain once he gets up there.
Yep. Currently Heavy 20, Sing, Endo, all making the choo-choo train of death on the way up. Blue Boys, as always, breaks the choo-choo train and is leading by a mile. Dang it, Blue Boys. But such a jump, and he's going to get there first before the T1. And if he gets that kill, that is very big for SIMP. With that T1 advantage, they can make some cap pressure happen later in the battle, which I fully expect them to take advantage of. And they may activate the Mac attack. Mac is going across the open. He will look to meet that enemy T1, and then there's an ambush waiting to happen. Although it looks like there's been spotting. Blue Boys may have spotted Zombie Food and Bananas to the wall host. And they scramble for cover. Oh, maybe they see Blue Boys and shots fired up to the hill.
They do see Blue Boys. Armor Ghost was able to see him, and now he goes, hey, guess what? I saw one. I'm getting out of here. And he's going to fall away from the hill. No trigger's been pulled yet from GooglyBobbers as they continue their G-line defense.
Now Armor Ghost is stacking it up, waiting for Mac G, although Mac G will not go for the fight. He actually may go around, try and ambush Armor Ghost from behind. This will be cute T1 play that I don't think we've ever gotten to see before. Armor Ghost is spotted. And Mac G is going to go behind.
Mac G is trying to go from behind.
Ninja. Although I think he's been discovered.
He has been seen.
Oh,
Crimson Corsair has been seen by the T1, battling back and forth is Tuxzilla and Crimson. And Crimson turns around the corner. He's going to be reloaded before Tuxzilla misses the first shot, but he gets his second.
And with that, he's actually going to avoid the 5100s, which have pushed up into the D-line. Adroxus is there alone. But Sing is coming to back him up as they are pushing into the enemy's side of the map. Bananas to the wall is getting very close now to the edge. Zombie Food fires at Adroxus, no connection.
Armor Ghost in the T1.
Crim does go down. And now Endo, along with Blue Boys, are in the backfield. This is similar to what we saw.
This is a pincer attack.
Yeah, just like what we saw from Cazadores. They're caught in between this potential pincer from SIMP. It's very dangerous, and it's delicate.
It's dangerous for both teams, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, finish your thought.
No, that's what I was getting to. It's dangerous for both teams.
For both teams, because here's the press coming up to the north, and they're going to have to decide which way they're going to go. I don't think they've scouted to the south anyone yet. IS-3s are now continually moving away from SIMP. And here's going to be around the corner. Spoon's going to see the IS-3s. 5100s unloading against them. IS-3 from Sovereign Zul takes another shot, and they're taking some serious damage. IS-3's pushing up against, but Zombie Food took a lot of hits, and so's Bananas to the wall host. But the first tank to fall is Heavy 20. Another shot against Adroxus, but that's going to be a bounce shot. Bananas to the wall host up against the parking lot as Blue Boy's captain, along with his teammates, going to trade some fire against Zombie Food and Baronesh. Baronesh pushing up against the corner. They've taken a lot of damage here, but so is SIMP. They're actually down a tank.
But they may be able to bring it back. Oh, never mind. Baronesh.
Singh takes a bunch of hits here, and he's able to get the 5100, but Sovereign Zul will be reloaded in time, but can Adroxus move in to block the shot? He can. Sovereign Zul tries to line it up. Adroxus still blocking it. Sovereign gets it right over the back of Adroxus. Nice shot from Sovereign Zul. Blue Boys Captain, however, takes down Bananas to the wall host. There's only one IS-3 left for GooglyBobbers here as they push up against Adroxus. He's going to take multiple hits. And there's a T1 to the south trying to stop the fly cap from Mac G here.
T1 squaring off. There goes Armor Ghost. Mac G wins. He is the better T1 today.
And Sovereign Zul up against 3 tanks. Not able to bounce all this firepower. Will be quickly surrounded. And in a matter of seconds will fall. The T100 is still not fully reloaded. He's going to get the kill against Adroxus, perhaps. Reload happening now for Adroxus, and he gets the kill.
Well, that's actually Endo.
Or Endo actually gets the kill, excuse me.
There's the SIMP we know. There they are.
We know. Well, well done by SIMP. Again, we were talking about that pincer attack working on both sides in that moment, but they took a lot of damage from behind, and SIMP continued moving up that tank alley side. And once they reached that position, they were going to move into an area that was already covered by their teammates from that hill approach. So they went down the central corridor, and that's where they did a lot of damage.
I really like, though, also what I saw out of GooglyBobbers against Adroxus and Heavy 20 in the IS-3s. Adroxus and Heavy 20 were lined up, get right behind each other, but the tops of their turrets were slightly exposed because Adroxus was on slightly higher ground than Heavy 20, even though he was hiding behind him. The softest spot on the IS-3 is actually the top of the turret. Kind of this weird like hat thing it wears is so thin. And you see the 5100s just lined up their shots, and you saw shot after shot making it into the top of his turret. Great job by the 5100s. Of course, it took them so long to actually make those shots count that the thing is, they ran out of shells, and there it was. You had two 5100s from SIMP coming up, and they were on the flank. They did tons of damage against those guys. And then the IS-3 Heavy 20 was able to deal damage on the tanks that had previously just killed Adroxus. Great job by SIMP.
Still anybody's game, though. GooglyBobbers is up 2-1. Quick commercial break. When we come back, the Gold League continues for World of Tanks. Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks. It's time for battle number 4 between the GooglyBobbers and SIMP. The map is Prohorovka.
Will this be the final one, Clutch? I don't
Well,
know.
if GooglyBobbers can pull something out that SIMP is not prepared for. Again, SIMP has never faced this team before. Same for GooglyBobbers.
This is true. Well, they will have Singh in a 416, Adroxus in a Pershing, Endo, Heavy 20, Blue Boys, all 1390s, against a T-32, two Pershings, Bananas to the Wall and Zombie Food in those, Tuxilla and Spoon in the 1390s.
The pillar of the HP value and the armor of the T-32 and the Pershings already. I'm seeing the potential of a long, drawn-out firefight between the two, and GooglyBobbers able to win it out with that consistent fire. However, still anybody's game, and they're up against a team that has been undefeated in all 3 seasons, in second place for the finals, or yeah, so far, but second place in the finals for Season 1 and Season 2. So they've only lost twice in their entire career for the WGLNA, for the Gold League.
That's next to Fulcrum, who's only lost once ever.
That's right.
In WGLNA.
Titans, Sovereign Zul takes a big shot from Singh in the Object 416. Blue Boys captain, spotted in the 1390, falls back.
And now they're kind of squaring off in the middle. Sovereign Zul at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Spoon having taken a hit as well, but Endo's taken a hit. Those are trading around, but Adroxus, he gets the best position. And now advantage goes to SIMP. They have the lead, they have the map control. And they'll even send in Crimson Corsair very aggressively, right off the bat, right down the line. And he's going to be able to get some great spotting onto a few of these tanks.
Droxus takes a couple hits, though, and that's going to return the trade. The value, Droxus down 722, but Zombie Food takes a hit in his Pershing. Pokes back and forth. Little hey, how you doing? It's coming out of these consistent fire tanks.
It's really aggressive from both teams. Now, this isn't just outright brawl aggression, but they are right there face to face, just fighting around corners, or rather, over hills. And now Crimson Corsair is in the back, but he's found Baronish. And Baronish almost gets to fire, but Crim notices and backs off too quickly. Now there could be fire onto Baronish from the north, but he goes dark and stays safe for now.
Tuxilla took a lot of fire on his side on the west, and he falls all the way back to the south. However, Tuxilla could do a bit of a crazy maneuver to take down that T1 and then fall back, but yeah, he could do it because he'd be spotted just as he's crossing the tracks and he'd be out of fire.
Now I see motion on the 1-2 line from 2 light tanks there. Do you think
Tuxilla and Armor Ghost?
Okay. Oh, Baronish takes down Crimson Corsair. That's huge.
That's big to the south.
Although here's a push from Simp, up and over right into Sovereign Zool, and they're actually going to focus on maybe no, it is Sovereign Zool that they're focusing on first.
Isolation technique coming out from Simp, T32. It's a long reload compared to the burst fire. Consistent reload, though. But Zombie Food in the Pershing falls back. Ow, Spoon gets hit from behind from Zombie Food. Kind of falling apart here as a Droxus in the Pershing is getting some fire against him. This is when Tuxilla has to move quickly against a Droxus.
Tuxilla's going to move on him, though. And I'm going to watch Tuxilla fight.
All right, I'll stay to the front with Spoon. Heavy 20 takes down that tank. Spoon still in the engagement. You need to focus on one. That's got to be Heavy 20. Heavy 20 against Spoon. Spoon about to fall. Spoon does fall. Bananas to the wall host pushed up again. Heavy 20. And now it's Blue Boy's captain. Heavy 20. And Sing against Bananas to the wall host. Bananas to the wall host. One more shot and he will fall. And he does fall. Tuxilla, last tier 8 tank left alive in the 1390. Now gets crashed into Blue Boy's captain. And now it's only up to 2 T1s spread across the map. Simp going to take this battle.
Nicely played. They whittled down their opponent a little bit, and then they just pushed in when they recognized how split GooglyBobbers were. Great play by Simp, bringing it back. It's going to be a 2-2. We're going to go to game 5 to figure out who wins this.
Yeah, very impressive play, but again, when you know that someone's way in the back, at least on the west, where Tuxilla was, and he took some serious damage, and if you're trading fire back and forth, you know it's a good time to push. That's what they did. They did lose that T1 to the south. So that was a bit of the trigger for Simp to go. They pushed. They went on the T32 first, and great play. You target fire a tank. It's surprising how fast it'll fall compared to evening out the HP across.
And
all the other
Tuxilla
tanks.
wasn't able to finish off a Droxus either. Huge fumble by the GooglyBobbers. If he'd been able to do that, maybe you have a little bit more there. And also, if he'd been able to do that quicker, if GooglyBobbers had been faster in their attack. Oh, actually, Sing is missing Armor Ghost right now, even though they're on the cap. Everyone else from Simp chilling out. It's a Droxus, Endo, Heavy 20. Give it a few seconds, we'll be done here if they can't find that T1, although I'm pretty sure a Droxus knows he's spotted. Or rather, Sing knows he's spotted.
Sing knows he's spotted. Armor
He's
Ghost
hunting.
is close. He's looking for him. Way up in the corners. Now he's going to see him.
No, not yet. He doesn't see him. Now he does.
3, 2, 1. It's a fly cap and a kill at the same time. Simp able to tie it up, 2-2.
That's it. That's just what happened. You had a 13-9, not enough motion out of GooglyBobbers. They weren't setting the pace enough. Simp, great job. Even though they lost Crimson Corsair in the southeast, that was just them being proactive, and then they've recognized what they had. We actually have a replay of that fight to show you guys that is ready. Let's take a look.
And you'll see the push up against this T32. From all these tanks, they go for the surround. They don't get fire on Zombie Food as Zombie Food moves away, and Adroxus is on the other side of the map. And he's consistently putting fire into Zombie Food during this. So Zombie Food is still under attack because of Adroxus.
Now notice GooglyBobbers do regroup, but the thing is they're flanked. There's someone to their rear, and that's where they lose out on this. They could have stalled the attack and made it work for them, but Adroxus is what makes it for Simp's position here. They are surrounded. You've got 2 tanks on the high ground, keeping these guys pinned. 1390s just waiting for a chance to come in. And here we have the failure to kill the Pershing, Adroxus, which really hurts GooglyBobbers. They could have been doing something with that. Unfortunately, that happens too late, and it doesn't succeed. Simp, just a better job in this battle.
And that's it. Quick commercial break. When we come back, battle number 5 of Simp versus the GooglyBobbers. It's still anybody's game, and now a best-of-1 scenario. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Gold League for All the Tanks. 1 battle left in the final match for regular group play. Tomorrow night, tiebreakers and the playoffs and the potential of 2 tiebreakers back-to-back, and then 2 playoffs. I believe is going to be the schedule tomorrow, dependent upon if GooglyBobbers loses this match. If they win, I believe it may be only 1 tiebreaker. Kind of depends.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
if they
we'll have to
well,
see.
they're 9,
Don't forget,
10,
there's also
11,
the
12.
potential for a shootout.
Well,
We're still not
there
done with
is.
that. We're in Battle
There
5.
is. It's crazy, guys. Battle number 5. Here we go. The map will be on Ensk between Simp and GooglyBobbers, tied up 2-2.
And looking at the tanks, we have almost identical lineups. 2 5100s, 2 IS3s, and Blue Boys will be in a 416, and they've replaced that 416 on the other side with an IS3, the zombie food. So you've got a whole lot of alpha sitting here. However, Blue Boys, that 416, it rolls for 320 damage every time it fires, which is more than the average damage of a 5100. So you really have to watch out for that 416. It hurts.
I bet it does. I bet it does. Baronish in the 5100 behind the charge here. Zombie food in the IS3. This is going to be close, guys. It's going to come down to that initial firefight. Who can do the most damage and which tank's going to get knocked down first. T1, MacG. Proxy scouted. Sing, seen in the 5100.
Sovereign Zool is spotted by Mac, and he's going to actually pull out. Good move by Mac. They need to preserve that T1. I feel like they lose Mac a lot of the time unnecessarily. Of course, that does give them the advantage of him calling in a fight, calling in the brawl, and that has worked out in the past. We called it the Mac attack. And that, what was the percentage of times that he would actually win every time that he would die?
It was above 90. Or maybe it was 75. It was a very high number.
It was a
I
large
remember.
number.
It was almost always. I mean, we clarified it's almost always. I'll have to ask our stats guys about that. The shot fired and a miss as they pull back here as Simp's going to take the Echo City block.
They're quickly retaking it. Heavy 20 is rushing to find those free shots that he can get, and he goes for it. Doesn't quite connect with Zombie Food. Zombie Food fires back on Heavy 20. Also not able to connect. But great job. You see Simp playing very aggressively, taking just, it seems like just ferociously taking whatever ground that they can take with their tanks. Heavy 20 just looked aggressive with that.
Very nice play, but still, the fallback, the retreat from GooglyBobbers means that they're still in a great position for defense, and they're still holding the 1 line. There's not going to be not going to be any 1-line aggression yet coming out of Simp, but if there is, they could get unloaded upon in a bit of a coin toss scenario here.
I bet Endo would be the tank to move out like that.
Of course.
He's done that in the past.
Shot fired against Sovereign Stool. Sorry to interrupt real quick.
No, it's good.
He took a big bounce to the front. No damage. But as you were saying, Endo.
Yeah, Endo's most likely. We've seen him in the past go out to that west side, so they may be setting a trap for Endo. And if they catch him and MacG, who have gone out to the west to take that 1 line in the past, maybe a Droxus, I think, has gone out there as well. If they do that, then maybe they could catch them off guard, because I see 3 tanks in that northwest area.
Another shot and another bounce. Bounce is hitting right off this bumper against Sovereign Zool. Nice job.
Yeah, he's reverse angled. Heavy 20 may load an HE. Heavy, do you have an HE? You've got enough room in there. Hardly ever fire that many shells. Don't need to. And a counter push. It is spotted. Bananas to the Wall and Spoon are spotted. Heavy 20 backs off into a hold out. Drops us in hold out.
Oh, Bananas to the Wall host takes so much damage to the front, but Spoon now sees the opening to get some damage up against his IS-3s as the 5100 of Endo takes 1 shot and falls back. But here comes the IS-3s from Zombie Food and Sovereign Zool. They're pushing up, and now it's a pincer attack. Which tanks will they target first? Looks like the IS-3 of Heavy 20. He falls. Sovereign Zool now trying to block the 5100s. Bananas to the Wall host and Zombie Food taking a lot of damage. Baroness pushes up against Endo. Baroness fighting the fight against Sing. Sing down to 62. Sing's going to fall back, but Spoon from behind gets the hit. Baroness pushing up against Adroxus. He's going to be reloading soon as Bananas to the Wall host is going to consistent fire, trying to unload into Blue Boys captain. Spoon from behind, taking some shots into Blue Boys, and Baroness tries to block him, and he gets the kill. Tuxil in the T1 trying to get behind and go for the flag cap as Bananas to the Wall host falls to Adroxus, and now it's Baroness in a 5100, still reloading, I believe, and also Spoon. MacG in the T1 might fall to Tuxila, but you will have some return fire. Huge engagement from both of these teams here, and the advantage now maybe going to Simp as Endo and Adroxus are chasing Baroness.
Also, Mac just took down Tuxzilla. Now there's another T1 left live. That is Armor Ghost, but he's a single T1. Now Baroness, 52 hit points. Endo should be reloaded shortly. He lines up a shot.
And he gets it. It's up to Spoon, up against an IS-3 and a 5100. Spoon was reloading, I believe, or he may not have enough shots to stop this.
Should be reloaded soon. I don't think he'll have enough shots to do it, but he could at least stop Endo or Droxus. Maybe a lucky ammo rack gets it for him, but Endo is loaded, and Endo's here.
Endo gets a shot against him. Spoon lands a hit as well. 373 against 123. And Adroxus gets the last hit. It's all against Armor Ghost and a T1 up to the north. And he's fleeing for his life to try to go for the draw. MacG gets a fire shot from behind. And MacG gets it. Simp, with a huge comeback, down 0-2, is able to close the gap and remains undefeated in group play for the World of Tanks Gold League in the American region.
But what a play. GooglyBobbers looked amazing in this. They deserve to be much higher rated than they are. Simp, of course, showing us why they are the top, always the top. How do you bring it back with 3 straight wins after going down 2 battles?
That was one of the most intense engagements I have seen in esports for World of Tanks in that city-type area. Those 5100s were trying to block, move in, pull back, and the IS-3s were doing the best they could to try to contain the situation. Huge firefight going back and forth, but it came down to the reload times and also more pinpoint fire coming from Simp.
Simp was disgusting. They were putting their shots right past tanks covering each other. As hard as GooglyBobbers would try, they could not block the Simp shots. They couldn't Simp them. They couldn't do it. And Simp just played it so much better. We actually have a replay of that fight. Let's go look at that, show you guys exactly what happened. Here we go. In just a moment, you're going to see GooglyBobbers tanks come in to block for each other as you see Zombie Food gets very low, taking a lot of damage. This 5100 tries to come in and block, but no. Simp says no. He goes down. Next, they pick the next tank up in front, take down that consistent fire tank. Now, they have their eyes set on that last IS-3 in the back. They don't care about these 5100s.
And Spoon was in such a great place to continue to have fire on the flank. And we were anticipating still a longer firefight perhaps, but Adroxus in the IS-3 gets the cleanup, and now it becomes a consistent fire tanks versus the 5100s. Again, a classic matchup when you see this conventional play being brought. And all the avenues pretty much been taken over by Simp. And Endo left to go reload, and then he comes in for the clean sweep. Looking at how much Endo was able to do here, guys, out on the stats, 9 for 9. 9 for 9 in the 5100, 2,000 damage. Adroxus in the IS-3, 9 for 9, 2,737. Blue Boys captain, 5 for 7. Sing, 4 for 5. Heavy 20, 2 for 5. And MacG and Crimson Corsair trying to load a lot. Let's compare that to Spoon. Spoon, 8 for 8 for 2,284. Baronesh, 5 for 6. Bananas, 3 for 3. Zombie Food, 2 for 5. So it comes down to Bananas, Zombie, and Sovereign that were not able to get as much damage and as much fire coming out against those tanks compared to the IS-3s of Simp.
Yeah, just well played by Simp. And with that, where does that leave everyone standing? I'm going to have to actually check real quick. That means that we're going to see GooglyBobbers sitting at 9. Simp goes up to 21 points. And so there will be a tiebreaker between GooglyBobbers and River of Blood.
Mm-hmm. Very well played, very well played. We'll have the standings up in just a second for you guys. Have to commend GooglyBobbers here. First time in the Gold League, and they bring Simp to the brink. And Simp had to lock down and come back. Very well done by GooglyBobbers, and I feel they're going to have a really good chance in the playoffs here, depending on who they play. With the tiebreaker, though, again, the only difference of the tiebreakers for both divisions now is just the placement for 4th and 5th. So no one's going to be kicked out of the playoffs for the tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. It's simply where they place and who they play. It's up in the air. Let's go ahead and look at the final standings for Season 3 of Group Play. Fulcrum Gaming with 21 league points, undefeated with 7 wins. Top tier at 2nd place with 18 league points. Hammer Time at 15. Those 3 teams will be at the finals in San Francisco. Simple Tankers at 9 league points. They're going to be tying the people right behind them. Spurglords at 9. They will be one of our tiebreakers tomorrow night. Nerve, Refuse to Die, No Limit. Well played, gentlemen. Thank you for playing in Season 3. Best of luck in the future. What do we have for the Bravo Division?
For the Bravo Division, Simp leads the way, 21 league points. Behind them, #RU at 15. That's 5 and 2. Cunningham's at 13 are 4 wins with 5 wins, with one of those being a shootout win and 2 losses. GooglyBobbers are at 9 league points, tied with River of Blood, also at 9 league points. Now, down at the bottom, the last 3, Game Over, Pubstars, Cazadores, unfortunately, can't join us at the finals. Really hoping to see Game Over at least, but as it is, we've got a tie with 9 points, not with 6.
And that does it for group play, ladies and gentlemen. A huge congratulations to all the teams that have made it into the finals. Finals again happening February 8th and 9th at the Folsom Street Foundry in San Francisco. We'll see you guys there. We'll also see you guys tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Here's how it's going to work. 5 o'clock Pacific time, we'll run the first tiebreaker. After that, the second tiebreaker. We'll know the determination between all four teams of who's in 5th and 4th place of each division. The 4th place seed of the Alpha Division will face the 5th place seed of Bravo and vice versa. After those series, we will know all 8 teams going to the finals. Rookhill, it's been a hell of a series tonight with all these different matches and teams, and even for the entire season. One more broadcast night tomorrow before we see everyone in San Francisco. Any last words for tonight?
Thank you guys for sticking through us for regular season play. One more day. It's not regular season, it's tiebreakers and all that stuff. That's craziness, but thanks for sticking with us. It's been fun. Thank you, Clutch. Thanks to all our guys in the back.
Yeah, thank you, Battle Buddy. And a huge thank you to everyone here at the Hero Level Productions Studio. Also, huge thank you to our sponsors, Azo Monitors, available on Amazon.com, Kingston, Alienware, and Razer. We'll see you all tomorrow at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Good night and good game.
Yeah.